Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Smarketing CONNECT podcast. My name is Tom Libby, your host, and I am with one of the co-founders here at Smarketing CONNECT. My guest today, Kim Calvi. Kim is a writer, I believe, but we're going to get into that with her, and we're gonna let Kim tell us who she is and what she does. So, Kim, why don't you give us the overview?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tom. First of all, glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Really appreciate the opportunity to discuss with the masses what it is that Boston Edits is known for. So yes, in a few sentences, what I do, I am a copywriter, copy editor, and proofreader. And all three of those are different. To most people, it means the same thing, but those are three different, separate, and discrete tasks. And I am good at all three. I write original content. My clients are typically B2B. And I have clients that range from attorneys. 40% of my business are attorneys, and then the other 60% make up, financial planners, engineers, high-end auctioneers, facility property management individuals. Runs the gamut, B2B. And what they do is they hire me to write their content, whether it's for their website pages, a case study, a white paper, an executive summary. Some of them have asked me to really polish up their LinkedIn profiles. Anywhere that there is content, my clients approach me and they say to me, I need you to either create new original content for me, for my business, or I need you to proofread and edit what I already have and make it better, make it polish it, and make it shine so that I can better serve my clients and get my own brand and my own messaging out there.
That's really in-depth, and I think you answered half of this question already.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But I guess so. Let me ask you this question a little bit differently then, because you did kind of go into who your current clients are a little bit. Is there a favorite? Do you have a preference on whose content you really prefer working with versus others?
In terms of verticals, no. In terms of the size of companies, I generally work with people who they have their own company and they wear many different hats already. And this is one hat that they do not want to wear. They don't have time. They don't like it. Doesn't fit well. And so they hire me. A lot of my clients are in the greater Boston area. I do have some clients in other parts of the country. Which I'm glad for. And usually the clients that I have, if they're attorneys, they're solo entrepreneurs, or they're solo practitioners, or I have clients who are solo entrepreneurs that have had their own businesses for many years. I typically work with established businesses. Once in a while, I will work with a startup, but generally my clients are established entrepreneurs or attorneys, and they need to, especially the last few months with the coronavirus outbreak, they've needed to have their content, their online presence, their marketing collateral kind of reflect how their business has changed to accommodate their clients. So whether they're in Boston or in other parts of the country, my clients have reached out to me to say, look, I need content that speaks to my business, speaks to my clients, and addresses the challenges that my clients are facing.
Yeah, and basically to ensure people that they're still in business, and that they're taking new clients at that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or they want to retain their existing clients because they don't want I've had a lot of clients come to me, existing clients that have said, I'd like to tap into my existing clients and see how I can better serve them, especially now with this outbreak. Look for opportunities here. And they've asked me to create content that speaks to their initiatives because, again, they're busy trying to service their clients and run their business. So they need me to create content that they can share with their existing clients.
Yeah. So that being said, small business tools, we all use them. We all have our favorites, whether they be software or, whatever the case may be. Do you happen to have a small business tool that you think every entrepreneur should be using, and tell us why you think so?
I think that, what I have personally found for me, so I guess this is probably the best way for me to answer the question, is good time management. Some people are really good at it, just innately. They're just very disciplined. Sometimes for creatives such as myself, time seems to get away from us. I have found, for example, the software Calendly to be very useful for me because I need to stay on track with my writing assignments, the actual work that my clients hire me to do. But it's imperative that I also schedule time to meet with new clients and recap with existing clients. So it's imperative that I carve out specific time for that. So I think that because everybody's schedules have become more fluid, working from home, etc., I think it's important to still use a tool that designates work time, marketing time, networking time, and I have found Calendly to be useful for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too. And it also makes that back and forth a lot easier, like where you don't have to go back and forth with 18 emails just to solidify a time. You can
Right,
just
exactly.
send somebody that link and it's much more streamlined. So
right, exactly. They can pick and choose. You give them 3 different time slots and they, hopefully one will work, and that's the end of it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so as self-explanatory as it might be to people, I'm guessing it's not that simple, right? As to what challenges people actually bring you in to solve for them. Because I'm guessing it's not, I want to write a blog, I'm going to hire Kim. Here's Kim, write me a blog. That seems to me either too easy or too self-explanatory. So is there anything deeper than that you'd like to tell people that you solve for people?
Yeah, it really runs the gamut. I have some clients that they are very clear about what they want. I've got clients that have said to me, I need you to write a blog because I don't want to do any writing. I'm not a very good writer, but I have my ideas, and here are my ideas, and I need you to create a blog. Okay, that's fine. We talk about that. I create content. Then I have some clients that have come to me and have said, I need content for a complete new online branding presence. That's a lot. That's a lot of content. It's their website, and we've got to create content for their website, their marketing collateral, perhaps their LinkedIn profile. If they've got a Facebook page, their Facebook content, and a lot of that can be transferable and repurposed. But you still have to create original content in the first place, which is not as easy as people think it is, even for somebody who knows how to write like I do. It still takes thought. It still takes time. It takes research. It takes a lot of drafts. I think what some of my clients have said to me at first a couple of times, like, oh, well, I can handle this myself. And then they realize how difficult it is, that writing new content is not the same thing as flinging off a text about getting Chinese food that night. There's a lot more involved. And I think once they realize that, they're very quick to give it to me to do. And then they're like, here, you own it. I'm happy to pay you to do it. You do it. Here's what I need you to do. Now do it. Okay. That's what I do.
So it could even be potentially like a full content strategy, not necessarily just the content itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of times it is. It's a full online content strategy, and I love that, because then the intricacies of that. It's not just new website content. It's like, okay, well, let's take that and then let's repurpose it. Or let's put this over here. Let's put this bit of content over here to emphasize this particular point or this initiative to attract this type of audience. Yeah. And once my clients see the value of good content that really talks about what makes them better and different, then they really appreciate what's involved, and then it really becomes a good collaboration.
Very cool. So this question is really geared toward being an advisor, right? So we, as sales and marketing consultant professionals, we tend to get asked a lot of questions by our clients outside of our area of expertise, and we might recommend somebody or not. But do you ever give people advice on how to interview these people or how to choose them? What type of advice do you give to some of your clients about going outside of the scope of your expertise?
Out of my expertise? If a client comes to me and says, well, I probably can handle this on my own. I'll write something. I'd like you to proofread it. Okay, that's fine. But again, I mean, I do have clients that, because they've been in business for a lot of years, they know exactly what it is that they're good at, and they know where they'd like to spend their time. So sometimes they'll come to me and say, oh, I can handle that. But then they realize quickly that they can't. And so they do give it to me to do. They hire me to do it. What the advice that I give, though, to what I would say is, for someone like myself, if somebody wants to approach me and find out what it is that I can do for them, my advice is come to me when you're ready to take action. And you have a budget set aside. And I think that that's important, because I don't think some companies understand just what's involved, that this is an investment in their business. Yeah. And the word investment, it's an investment, it's a cost. So it's it's good business to set aside some funds to rebrand, to recreate new content, because you're basically reinvesting in your own image, your own brand, your own, your own online presence. Again, what makes you better and different from anybody else? And that's the cost of doing business.
Gotcha. So, okay. So I like to goof around a lot. People who know me, especially people who've watched this podcast, I ask this question all the time, but I like to basically humanize us to the general public and make sure they realize that we don't take life too seriously. So, so Kim, if you could be a superhero, who would you be? And tell me why.
A superhero. Let's see. I'm not sure I could identify with a superhero in a satisfactory way. I think probably better for me would be to describe a character in literature that I can identify with. Right. Probably a little bit better if that works for you. One of my favorite characters in literature is Anne Shirley from Anne of Green Gables. Yep. We all know that story. I mean, I'm not an orphan, and I'm not a redhead, but I understood her imagination and the fact that she loved to create stories because she felt like it made everything better for other people. You know, she could share the humor, and she loved language, and that's what she wanted to share with people, and put stories in a context that people could appreciate. And she was a little sassy. She was independent, and she didn't take no for an answer. And she was always true to herself too. And I think that that's important too. So, very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
All right. Here's a good one. This is probably my favorite question because it gives you an opportunity to talk about somebody that you've worked with in the past from the sales and marketing community, who you want to give a shout out for a couple of reasons. Either A, they might be a great guest on our podcast here, and I'll seek them out for that, or B, just somebody that you want to let our listeners know that does a really good job. So you have a pay it forward kind of thing.
Sure. Okay. Well, I know a gentleman named Gene Duvoisin of Duvoisin Design, and he's here on the South Shore, and he's a genius. He really is. I mean, I've seen his work, and his tagline is along the lines of telling a story as well through good branding, good imaging. And I can certainly identify with that. He is a designer. He's more visual, and I have had conversations with him about our industry. I mean, I'm very I'm the wordsmith, and he likes the artistry of all of getting a brand and image out there. He creates logos for people, and he does brilliant work, and he's done this for many years, and he's very good at capturing someone's company, their brand, their story in a logo, and that's incredible. I mean, it's not easy to do, and I can appreciate that. It's not the same. It's very similar to writing good content that speaks to who the client is, and a logo is the same idea. It has to capture who they are, what their brand is, what differentiates them, and sticks in people's mind. That image has to stick in somebody's mind, and that is an example of some of the work that he creates, and he's brilliant.
Awesome. Well, Gene, if you're listening, I'll probably be reaching out on LinkedIn.
I will let him know.
Okay, so last slide here, Kim. So this slide is basically your contact information. It's basically what I was able to find that is publicly facing. It's mostly from your website. Aside from what people see on the screen here now, is there any other way or in which people should be connecting with you, trying to reach out to you, anything like that?
If they Google Boston Edits, Google Boston Edits, I occupy, that whole, search engine results page. The whole first page is all me. So you can just Google Boston Edits, and my knowledge panel on the right-hand side illustrates all of this information too, and also offers reviews from clients as well. I'm active on LinkedIn. So between Google My Business, my website, and LinkedIn, and this information here for my phone number, people can get in touch with me. My email address is kim@bostonedits.com. Pretty straightforward. So that's the best way to get in touch with me. Yeah.
Perfect. And everybody, if you remember nothing else, just remember you are watching the Smarketing Connect podcast, and Kim is one of our professionals on Smarketing Connect. So at the very least, you can find her on Smarketing Connect. And if you need help, you can reach out to us and we will make sure that you get in touch with her as well. We'll make sure we get you in touch with Kim. So Kim, that's the end of this. And I thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it, Tom. Thank you very much. It was good to be here.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.